Okay, time for the much anticipated video, how did my Christian family react to me becoming Muslim? I apologize for how long this video took me to make. I just wanted to make sure I spoke with my parents about everything that I was going to share, just because they're very private people and I wanted to make sure I was respecting their boundaries. My parents and my siblings have been incredibly supportive of my journey, subhanAllah. I've been seeing some comments saying how sorry they felt that I was raised in a Christian family and how religion was forced on me. Don't be sorry. Religion was never forced on me by my parents. My parents and my siblings are some of the kindest people I've ever met, and I'm not just saying that because they're my family. My parents raised my siblings and I to always value education and to always ask questions and to always be curious about the world, and that included religion. And when it came to religion, they especially have encouraged us to always ask questions, because their interpretation of Christianity was always, it is about your personal relationship with God and with Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, and the only way that you make that relationship better is by praying and by asking questions and by reading. And so when I started reading the Quran and I realized that I was going to become Muslim, I didn't tell them directly right away because I wasn't 100% sure how they were going to react. Instead, I just started conversations as I was reading things, and that was not uncommon for my family. We have conversations like that all the time about other religions and other people and different cultures, and it's just very normal in my household. So they didn't even question it when I was like, oh yeah, I'm reading the Quran. They were like, oh yeah, go ahead, do that. It's always great to try and understand what other people believe and how they think, because that is how we become closer to one another. And so yeah, I just started having conversations with them, and then when it finally came time for me to say, yeah, I'm becoming Muslim, and it's because of this book, they were very supportive, because they knew it was clear that this was my personal relationship with God. So yeah, they've been very supportive. Also, fun fact, both of my parents have parents that had jobs that made them travel a lot for work. So both of my parents spent multiple years of their childhood in Muslim majority countries. So both of my parents got to see Islam firsthand in Muslim countries. So a lot of the propaganda from the haters about what Islam is in the West did not affect them. They've seen what it really is. So I think that has also played a big role in how supportive they've been. So supportive to the point where when it came time for me to take my shahada, my mom insisted on coming with me. Sorry, I'm gonna cry. I literally have tried to film this so many times and I literally cry every time. My mom came with me in my shahada and she wore hijab and everything. And my dad really wanted to come too, but he ended up having work, and it worked out because I took my shahada right after a women's halakha, so I don't know if he would have even been able to come in necessarily. I am so grateful for that experience too, because it meant that my mom got to meet all of these wonderful, kind women as soon as I became Muslim, and I think that brought her a lot of peace, seeing the community firsthand. I'm so sorry I'm crying. I literally cannot make this video without crying. I've tried 8 times. And then in the car ride home, she told me that if it had been any other religion besides Islam, she's not sure she would have been as supportive, but because of how Muslims view and love Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, and she saw that my relationship with God was getting so much stronger, she said that it was very important that she came with me to my shahada, because she wanted me to know that she supports me for the rest of my life, no matter what my journey is. And my dad has said very similar things. In fact, since I'm already crying, might as well share the next thing that my parents just make me cry all the time, but for the best reasons. One of the first times I was wearing hijab in public, I stepped out of the house and my dad had just gotten home, and it was the first time he'd ever seen me in hijab, and I was really scared how he was going to react, because it's one thing to say you're being Muslim and then it's another to put on hijab and then it's so obvious all the time, right? My dad said, I am so proud of the adult you're becoming. And it makes me laugh because I mentioned this story to him the other day and he was like, I don't remember this event, but obviously that's something I would say. And it's so funny because obviously this was a huge pivotal moment for my life and my dad doesn't even remember it. Because that's just my dad. He just says things like that to me my whole life, no matter what. I'm also crying because I know that my story is not the most common experience for reverts and their families, and that breaks my heart so much, because I will never understand how someone can be so hateful to their own flesh and blood just because they believe something a little different. And so, to the reverts out there, I just want you to know and remind you that Allah sees everything. There is nothing that goes unnoticed by Him, and any struggle that you face in this life, it is rewarded in the next. So, yeah, again, guys, I'm sorry for crying. Like, I literally don't know how to make this video without it. I've tried. And yeah, to anybody watching this, as always, may Allah bless you and your families, and I hope you have a wonderful day.